Monster, Monster Man, Monster, Monster Man, Jack and Hunter at it again. Monster, Monster Man, Monster, Monster Man, Monster, Monster Man, zombies will man the undead. Monster, Monster Man, in your mind under your bed. Monster, Monster Man.
Welcome to Monster Men.
Ow! Werewolves of the tri-state New York area. Feeling wolfy.
Yeah, but we need to talk about the Count before we talk about the Wolf.
We do need to talk about the Count, because the Count...
Count is down for the Count.
The Count.
That's a way to start off a tribute episode.
Somebody has put a stake in our hearts.
The flag is flying at half-staff at Castle Dracula and at Isengard.
Exactly.
So the first part of this episode is a tribute to Christopher Lee.
The scariest Dracula next to... You know me. Next to Nosferatu.
He's scarier than Nosferatu.
But he's the definition of Dracula to me.
When I was a kid, I watched a black and white movie. Sure, Nosferatu looked scary, but a black and white movie could not scare me. A Christopher Lee Dracula movie at midnight on a Saturday night scared the hell out of me. Even though I had to wait like a half hour till you saw Dracula, there was a bunch of people in petticoats talking, blah, blah, blah. You're like,
But with heaving bosoms.
heaving bosom, and now.
And then he was like the Dracula who never slept. Because his eyes were always like blood red. But that's what kind of scared me about him. Was just that look on his
I'll tell you what, growing up, you and I both, we always had books about horror, and Christopher Lee, the pictures of him as Dracula was probably a bigger part of my life than the actual Dracula movies. They were on once in a while, but I looked at those books every day, so for me I was like, this guy's scary as hell. Then you see the movie, and the Christopher Lee Dracula movies have a great pattern to them. This is a 4-pack. It's got Horror of Dracula, which was the first and best.
Is that the one where he barely spoke?
No, I
where
think
he went through the ice?
That's like Prince of Darkness.
He
doesn't like say a word in that one.
The word was that he was pissed off at the director or the screenwriter. He just refused to say the lines.
He didn't like any of the Dracula movies except for the first one. And then he did one called Count Dracula, which was more like the book, where he had a mustache and stuff that like you never see anywhere.
Dracula with a mustache.
But so in this one, you got Horror Dracula and Dracula AD 1972, which is one of the later ones. It's the great thing about this, and then this is Dracula has risen from the grave and Taste the Blood of Dracula. Both of these movies are sequels, it's like a number 1 and a number 2. So Horror Dracula, he gets the wheel in him, the stagecoach wheel.
Yeah.
Then this skips all the other Dracula movies, goes to 1972, and this Dracula is resurrected naturally by blood being, it's always blood is on his ashes or something like that, and he's back.
Yeah.
But then this one, it picks up.
Dracula has risen from the grave.
One of these, it picks
That's
up.
a Blue Oyster Cult song.
There's one, I can't remember which one, but he gets pinned on a gold cross at the end.
Yeah.
I think it's one of these. And then at the beginning of the next one, this guy is going through the woods, and they intersplice movies from the scenes from the first movie with him on the cross, and then this guy clearly not in the same, going, oh my god, I'm seeing this from off camera.
This film was ended 3 months ago, and I'm filming this now.
And he gets the ashes, so it's like a continuation of the other one. So, but the continuity, there was no continuity whatsoever.
Who cared?
No.
He was definitively killed in every one, and yet he was Dracula how many times? Over a dozen.
God, yeah, at least 6 or 7.
Yeah, exactly.
And then in all of these, he hardly says a word. like, and he's always like commanding somebody else, and he's like really formidable. But then, like at the end, like they hold up a cross, and he's like, "Die!" He loses his crap. But he looks so great in Horror of Dracula. He's a mean mofo.
I mean, he was a mean Dracula. He wasn't like, I always say that Bela Lugosi was more like a concierge.
Yeah.
Would you like to know how to get the best cigars?
This wine would be best paired with beef.
That's why I thought Christopher Lee was a great Dracula. And that's
Eat
why I
what
thought,
for dinner?
first of all, I'm taking this. Do you think that right now Christopher Lee is hanging out with Peter Cushing?
And Vincent Price.
Oh, yeah. But to me, Lee and Cushing is possibly the greatest partnership in horror.
Yeah, they were the Dracula Van Helsing.
Yeah.
You get Peter Cushing is by far the Van Helsing.
Yes. In fact, I just bought one at the supermarket. The Revenge of Frankenstein.
Oh, and he was Dr. Frankenstein a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Actually, there's one where Christopher Lee is Frankenstein, the monster.
Is there?
Yeah.
I gotta catch that.
That's like Curse of Frankenstein.
You know, it's funny because growing up, the Hammer movies didn't come on all the time.
No, that's what you had to catch.
Horror movies you could catch were the Universal ones and the Atom Bomb era ones, like them and
The
Came
Hammer
from
movies
BBC.
were on at midnight on Saturday nights.
yeah.
Like the same time as Saturday Night Live on like Channel 9.
I was
And
too busy watching
occasionally-
Joe Franklin, who just passed away also.
Ooh, so did Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes, Dick Van Patten.
Dick Van Patten?
Dick Van Patten just died.
8, I guess, wasn't enough.
And Patrick McNee from The Avengers.
Oh,
Not
really?
the comic book The Avengers, but anyone watching this I know has no idea what The Avengers is.
I'm
It's
appeal.
a spy show. A lot of people have passed away recently, and it's just, but Christopher Lee to us was like the
He was
biggest
Dracula, but he was the man with the golden gun. He was Sauruman. He was awesome as Sauruman.
He was also
perfect casting.
He had gravitas that he just seemed. I always thought that he must be 7 feet tall and have like stones the size of just friggin' milk jugs. Just the timbre of his voice and his look. That guy was just.
He's in the house. He was in like all the Hammer. House that Dripped Blood. That was like a bunch of shorts.
Oh yeah.
But he was also in Star Wars. He's Count Dooku. He was in the crappy Star Wars sequels.
He was the uncle to Eliza Dushku.
He fought Yoda.
Yoda, that's right.
That's like the best scene of all
It
them.
was like CGI Christopher Lee
Versus CGI Yoda.
Now, how old was he? 90. Was he in his 90s? Why do I
I
think
feel like
he was-
93.
At 93, that's the same number I'm thinking. So he's probably 93. So that's a great life.
But yeah, if you want to go look at his filmography, we're not here to talk about his career. We're just here to talk about the impact, tip of the cap to the. My favorite Dracula, scary as hell. I enjoy watching these. Dracula 8072 is a blast of a movie.
Well,
It's
that's
actually a sequel to that I haven't watched since I was a kid.
Well, that's how you
It's
can
like
tell
the
Hammer
last-
had turned the corner.
Yeah.
And they were kind of going. Well, that's exploitation movies started coming out then, and they just got a little.
Oh,
easier.
the chicks in this are.
Yeah, exactly.
Duh.
Right. So we're gonna miss you, Christopher Lee.
Yeah, maybe we'll watch a Christopher Lee after this.
Exactly. Thank you for all the memories. For all the memories.
Thanks for the memories.
Hey.
Hey.
So what do you got next? Let's talk about
Movies.
Let's talk about flicks.
Flicks.
What kind of flicks you watch? By the way, I hope people notice we're back in the Monster Studio. For
Studio
the first
13.
time in like forever.
Yeah.
I was recovering from a double lung and heart transplant, and I feel better now.
You're the monster.
I am the monster.
Abby Normal.
Hump? What hump?
Sedative?
He was my boyfriend!
Yes!
Young Frankenstein, for those who don't
Come
know.
on, keep up. Alright, so we're going to talk about 3 movies, 2 of which we both saw, and 1 of which I only saw.
Right.
Which one do you want to talk about first? Your choice.
You want to go with hit the werewolves?
Yes, yeah, let's go Wolfie first.
All right. You know how we are Netflix junkies, so we're watching anything that comes up on Netflix, regardless of the star ratings. Who cares?
Basically, usually we just go by one of us or one of our pals in the Monsterman family. We'll say, hey, this one was halfway decent, watch it. And you're like, oh, thank you, because
Right.
there's so much crap.
Sometimes you just sit around and you just go, oh, okay, let me give it a shot. So I noticed that werewolf stuff is starting to Pick up a little bit. And there's a couple of movies on Netflix. One is an outright comedy.
And it's awesome.
It's a Wolf Cop, which thanks to Mike Chella for telling me to watch Wolf Cop, who's not even a horror guy. And
I think Jason Brandt told me about it.
Yeah, but he's a douche, so I don't
He's
understand.
a douche.
So anyway, Wolf Cop is a straight up comedy about a cop who's like a boozer loser.
Yeah, like
who gets turned into a werewolf. That's all you need to know.
here's what
Practical effects, no CGI. In fact, the two werewolf movies are no CGI. Which I
No.
like.
There's a couple of special effects, like more like Charmed level glowy things.
Yeah,
that
but
happen.
you know, give me like the air pumps and some latex, and that's what I dug.
I think as far as werewolf police movies, the Wolf Cop is the Citizen Kane of werewolf police movies.
Absolutely.
Like Paul
Bar
Blart.
none.
Paul Blart Mall Cop is the Citizen Kane of Mall Cop movies.
Exactly.
I think if you're looking for that genre, this Wolf Cop is the best one.
Look, here's what Wolf Cop is going to give you that you're not going to find anywhere else. It is going to give you a love scene between Wolf Cop and a hot vixen.
Oh God, she's ridiculously beautiful, and it's that's the best sex scene ever.
Where he's a wolf.
He's a wolf. It's hilarious, and
So-
they go at it.
Yeah. So, it's...
He doesn't transform into the wolf.
No.
He's full-fledged wolf in his cop uniform.
It's kind of... Buttons are straining cop uniform, like Chris Farley and a fat man in a little coat. And she's just like, oh, well, you know, he's in a prison cell. It's a good time to do some banging. But seriously, though, if you like that, there's an author, W.D. Gagliani, who does werewolf books. That they do have sex in all different variations. So
Well,
it kind of reminded me of that.
I'll have to check that out, but it's so funny. It's just...
bloody as hell, too, man. It gets crazy after a while.
Yeah, there's great blood, but there's a scene in like a convenience store where there's a robbery that like is hilarious.
I loved watching that. That reminded like Zombievers. These are two movies that are total goofs, but done well.
If they gave us enough money to make a movie, that's what we would come up with.
Exactly. Two idiots making movies about beavers and zombies and werewolves.
Yeah, exactly. If you did a double feature of Zombievers and Wolf Cop, that's a perfect night.
So that was good. And then on the other side, I said, all right, let me check out Late Phases. Which is Late Phases is about a Vietnam vet set in modern times who's older. He gets his son, who is Ethan Embry from Dutch, who's been doing a whole bunch of movies. Cheap Thrills. Remember he did Cheap Thrills?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I see him pop up all the time now.
That's where he's from, Cheap Thrills.
So he's the guy's son, and he puts the father in this retirement kind of community. And the dad is blind. And
That guy's from Stakeland.
is he? I see. I've never watched
Oh,
Stakeland.
Stakeland's good.
He's got this great, just awful New York tough guy accent, and if you watch him, he must have been blind. Like it must have started like a week ago because he's the worst blind guy ever. He stumbles around all over the place. He has no concept of his blindness. So
Either that or he's the best blind person portraying a blind person, and all the other ones, like, maybe
too
that's
good?
really what it's like. Like, you're like,
I know. It was like he was kind of walking like a toddler whenever he'd walk around. This movie is not.
it's not a comedy.
It's not a comedy. It's a slow burn kind of movie.
It doesn't take itself too seriously, though, but it's not
No.
a comedy.
Again, practical effects. The werewolves I saw when I first saw it, I said they're a combination of The Howling, and this is including a scene when he's blind, and the werewolf kind of rises up. And I'm like, oh my god, that's straight out of The Howling. So the werewolves look like The Howling and Critters, like the face of Critters. Remember that movie?
The werewolves are the worst part of the movie. They're very cheap. It's basically like a person in a bunny suit with a werewolf mask.
Like Donnie Darko.
It's like a
the
Donnie
ears kinda
Darko.
Like Donnie Darko.
They got long ears. It's clearly somebody like wearing
plate
like,
mouths.
Yeah, like it reminded me if you see a Return to Salem's Lot, which was like a low budget sequel to Salem's Lot with Michael Moriarty, and they had these like sort of puppet vampire things. That's what I was like, oh. And then I also kind of sort of like evil Easter Bunny, but they're clearly people in suits running around.
Yeah.
But the story is so good,
Yeah.
and they use the werewolf sparingly, so and we like enough low budget movies that like we'll roll with it. If it's a good enough movie,
It kept me. Look, my wife and Jason Brandt told me his wife. Both our wives fell asleep instantly. It was like Sominex for them. I was in it all the way. Although here's the thing, there was all this buildup of the blind guy like rigging up his house and everything, and he never did a damn thing with it.
no, hardly at all. The grave thing he did.
He put an expensive headstone to drop on a werewolf that it like crawled out from under in like a second. But the best.
Maybe that's like you watch Home Alone and you think, oh, I'm gonna do that to fight off robbers, and then robbers come and they're just like, oh, a paint can.
Yeah.
Like, wait, it worked in the movie.
Maybe that was it. What's the best part of the movie?
Tina Louise is in it.
Thank you. When's the last time we've seen Tina Louise?
And Tom Noonan, who was the Tooth Fairy in Manhunter.
And he
And
was
he
also
in Easy Money.
and House of the Devil.
And House of the Devil. You'll know, he's the big, tall, bald guy.
Yeah,
He
with a
plays
gray
the priest.
beard. He's good.
So he's in it. Tina Louise, who don't expect seeing Ginger because she's aged. But
Yeah.
once you're looking for her, you're like, oh.
We've met Marianne, so you can expect to see kind of Marianne.
Marianne still looks like Marianne.
But Tina Louise is not. Oh, look.
That was a long time ago.
She's in her 70s. And if I look that good in my 70s, I'd be pretty happy.
I'm just saying, like,
I don't look that good in my
you
40s.
won't like right off the bat be like you see your name in the credits. That's why you know to look for her.
Do you see how old her husband was? The guy, he looked like George Gobel at 95.
Global.
Hollywood Squares, original, OG.
So Late Phase is definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, Late Phase is
it's
great.
fun.
I think both are cool, so you can't go wrong. In
When
fact,
you
do
look
a
at-
double feature.
Yeah, Netflix is so hard to find a horror movie that's worth watching. That's worth watching.
Yes.
So that's it.
So what do you got? You got a movie
Another
that I
movie
really want to
that-
see.
We're ending with a bang. What We Do in the
We are.
Shadows is not on Netflix. It's got Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords and Murray from Flight of the Conchords
Oh my-
are in it.
Is it a comedy?
It's a total comedy. Let me put it this way.
Oh wait, this is like a documentary or
It's
something.
a documentary about vampires.
Right.
And on your DVD shelf, Shaun of the Dead is the pinnacle of zombie horror comedy.
Right.
What We Do in the Shadows is the pinnacle of vampire comedy. Like they're right next to each other. It's so great.
Right.
So it's sort of shot. It's a documentary, and it like one vampire is like a Nosferatu. He's like 600 years old.
Right.
Then the other ones are various ages, and they're each sort of like one's like an Anne Rice vampire. One's like a. They're all like different kinds of vampire, sort of taking on a different genre.
One like a George Hamilton vampire.
Jermaine's a little bit of that.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Um,
Awesome.
But then, like, they end up, like, biting a guy. So they have a guy who's, like, a brand new vampire.
Right.
And he doesn't, like, respect the vampire stuff, like, as much as everybody else does. But they have stuff, like, you know, like in the Lost Boys, they fly up and they fight.
Yeah.
Well, they're, like, having a fight in the kitchen about doing the dishes. And suddenly they're, like, up in the air. And they have this whole bit where, like, in Lost Boys, they're, like, out to dinner with somebody. And they're like, you're eating worms. Ah! And then, like, it turns out, like, it only works with food that looks like worms, so you can't do it with French fries or something like that.
Well, lo mein. That's why I'm afraid of lo
Yeah.
mein.
It is great. And I'm going to get the Blu-ray because they clearly, like, are improv comics.
Right.
So, you know, they know where they need to go in the scene, but they ad-lib a lot.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
There must be, like, 100 hours of footage that they shot, so the extras on this are going to be tremendous. Murray plays a leader of a pack of werewolves, and like they're walking down the street
Oh god,
in
they're
London.
like doing a Twilight thing.
No, they're like they start jawing with the vampires, and somebody says like I forget like an insult at them. They're like, hey, we're werewolves, not swearwolves. that's in the trailer.
Oh, that's
so.
funny, man.
So it is. I cannot recommend. I pay-per-viewed it. Pay-per-view it. It's if you like vampires, you're gonna love this movie. But if you just like horror comedies or you like the Flight of the Conchords and stuff like that, I can't recommend this enough.
You know, I've noticed there's been a lot of pretty good horror comedies coming out lately.
I think the horror comedies
Devil Baby.
get a lot, or when done right, are like often better than horror movies because they can deal with the. If you watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the reason that show worked was because it was funny. It took the horror seriously, but it had this light touch to. So not everything was so. If you don't take yourself so seriously, it lets you take the serious parts more serious. If that makes any sense.
No, it does make
It
sense.
does make sense.
It's
It's not.
whatever. So.
Whatevs. Alright, so that's my recommendation. You gotta watch that.
We got 3 recommendations for you, and mourn Christopher Lee when you can. Wear some black, like I do every day. And
Black. And
glad
okay,
to be back.
that's good. Alright, we're back. We'll see you next time on
Monster Man.
Grr, arg.